Good morning, everybody. It is almost 7:30 a.m. here in Montana, and we're going on a trip, on a somewhat unexpected trip. Actually, the trip wasn't unexpected. I just didn't expect to go with one of our electric cars, as this trip was based on an auction and we expected to score some furniture. But we didn't. Somebody had too much money and bought them away from us. They were willing to spend way more than we did. So, but we got one item, and so we have to drive about 130 miles to Kalispell and then back another 130 miles today. And we'll make it a little nicer trip by going up probably around the west side of Flathead Lake and coming back down around the east side of Flathead Lake, so I don't have to look at all the same stuff going up and down. On that trip, we're going into no charger land again, more or less. There is some level 2 chargers in Kalispell that we can use, but between here and Kalispell, there didn't used to be any chargers. The only charging options that we had would have been on campgrounds, and there we would just use a NEMA 1450 with our portable EVSE. Now, yesterday I looked that up real quick on PlugShare, just so I get an idea on how I want to deal with that once I get to Kalispell, where I will go and hang out for a couple hours to get the charge needed to make it back. And I saw a nice surprise. Actually, about halfway up in Polson, it showed a DC fast charger that has not been there last time I looked. So it's only been there probably a couple months, if that. There was only one person that tried to charge there, and it was not successful. That person could not get the charger going, so we'll see. It is from an Italian company. I don't know how you really pronounce the name, like it's spelled E-N-E-L-X, N-L-X, Enel-X, I don't know. It's an Italian company, and somewhere I seen that the type of charger they use is related to, or they work with Chargepoint possibly. So I don't know. It will be still a little adventure if I actually could do a charge in Polson at that charger. That's only a 50 kilowatt charger, but if I could do a little charge there, I don't need too much, then I could keep going pretty quick to Kalispell, back to Polson, charge again a little bit, and make it back home without having to sit for a couple hours at a level 2 charger. We'll see. It will be another interesting trip. As always, I will include some Montana scenery. It will be beautiful. It's sunny out this morning. It should be a super nice day. If you're just here for the stats about the Bolt, or just for the scenery, depending on what you prefer, if you just prefer one or the other, I always split the video up in chapters, and so there's timestamps down below in the description, and you can just click on the time right there in the timestamps, and it will take you right to that chapter, so you can skip the parts you're not interested in seeing. So let's go. It is 29 degrees out this morning, 7:30 a.m. I had it set for charging to be ready at 6:30 a.m. today. So this is the departure charge. Now it shows Wednesday already for tomorrow, but we're gonna change that because tomorrow we're probably not driving this car. The target charge level is 100%. We want to be completely fully charged, and as always, we only do that when we go on a trip and really need the 100%, and we want to leave shortly after it reaches 100%. So we're within about an hour now since it reached that. We don't want to go much longer, because 100% on lithium batteries is just not really a good thing for the battery itself, unless you charge up to 100 and get going. But if you let that sit for days, then this battery will end up like your cell phone battery, and it will be dying a lot sooner than it actually would normally. So it's projecting 249 miles average with 293 max. I mean, if we could do 293 max, we could do the full trip on one charge. But as we learned from the Bolt, we will have to go relatively slow. That said, these won't be on freeways or interstates that drive. This will be all on regular highways. So speed limits, max will be 75. I don't remember what it is up there along the lake. It may be just 55. So we may actually do pretty good. And again, as we are at 100% charge, regen shows gray, and we won't get any right off the bat here because the battery is full already. Let's look here. Battery average temperature, we got almost 45 degrees here. Ambient here, it shows 30, and that's about right. Battery coolant is 37. And the battery heater has been active for a long time, so it did not come on this morning. It came on throughout the night at some point. Currently I have cabin heat and AC turned off, just so I don't have the noise of the fan while filming. I already preheated the car while it was sitting here, so it's already warm. And we got 100% battery charge. The car is still plugged in at this point, so I still have to unplug it, and I got to take this charger with me, this EVSE, as we learned in one of the other videos, which I hope you've seen. If not, I'll put a link here at the top of the screen. Depending on the device you're watching this on, you may or may not see this link. It will also be down below in the description. But what is an EVSE, or what is a charger, or so on and so forth, and which one you should use is the thing of another video that I have. So go watch that video if you haven't seen that yet either. So I'm gonna unplug and load the charger up, and we'll get going. So I'm just a couple miles into the drive here. It's a beautiful day out. Gotta go a little slow here in this area. It's only a 35 mile an hour speed limit, and lots of wildlife. Our mileage already has drastically changed now that the heat is back on and we're driving. But what I would like to point out is a couple things on this dash right over here. You see this little green line going up above the 2 there. That is indicating that we are driving pretty economic, and we're actually gaining, or not really gaining range, but most likely we are getting more than the 213 miles right there. And you can see it's slightly growing here as we're going. And then the ring around the speedometer is green, which is indicating we're driving good. Once this turns yellow, we're not as efficient anymore. On the other side, right there where it shows the kilowatts that we are using right now, so it's yellow, that lightning bolt or spark or whatever there is yellow, and the line going up is yellow. That means we are actually using power currently. If I go slower here, you'll see this turns green, and green means we are regenerating. And there I accelerate again, and you'll see it'll turn yellow. So then you also see this line right down there, okay? This line will keep going down further and further the longer we drive. This line is showing the regen limitation. So if I let go of the accelerator, you can see the regen will go to this line. It will actually push it a little bit. That's the funny thing. See, now it came back up. That is kind of interesting. I mean, it sets a regen limit, but when I actually regenerate, it is able to push this line further. Kind of interesting. But that line indicates your regeneration limit that you can expect when it's colder out, usually below about 40, maybe a little higher degrees. So maybe 40, 45 degrees, you will have a regen limit depending on how cold the battery is and how full your battery is. So in our case, it was fully charged, so there was no room whatsoever to charge. But now as we're driving, there's more room, so that line will go lower and lower and lower and eventually will disappear. All right, we'll drive our first 30 miles to Missoula, and we'll go through the car wash real quick in Missoula so that we don't have this ugly dirty car for this whole drive here today. So I'm driving on the interstate now, and as you can see, we're going 71 miles an hour. Cruise control is set, and you see the ring around the speedometer. It's nice and bright yellow. That means we're no longer driving efficient at all. Also over here you see the line right there, that yellow line going down. That's an indicator now we are using quite a bit more power and are more likely to get less miles than average. So we're heading more towards the 168 miles right now rather than the 205. Also you can see the consumption went quite a bit up. We were around 10 or so while we were going about 35-ish. So now we came quite a bit up now that we gotta go a higher speed here, and at 70 it's just not very efficient. We can lower this here. Let's go down to 65, and you can see the ring turns almost green, still has a little yellowish tint to it, so we're doing much better. The yellow line on the left there is no longer growing, it's getting a little bit shorter, so we're doing much better at 65. Now let me drop that down to 60. Now the ring is completely green, nice and solid green, so we're pretty efficient at this point. So at 60 we can do lots of miles, and that little yellow line on the left is kind of stuck right now. It's getting shorter, just a smidge in here. If I keep going 60 all the way to Missoula here, then this line will probably go from yellow to green even. But we want to go a little faster this morning, so we're going back up, and you'll see it's turning there almost yellowish, and now that ring is yellow, so we're not efficient at higher speeds. And that's just how the Bolt is. The Bolt does really great up to about 60, still does good to 65, but above that it is just not as efficient. made it to this charger here in Polson, this Enel X juice pump, which is a 50 kilowatt DC fast charger. And we hope that it works. On PlugShare, the one person that attempted to make it work could not get it to work, so we'll see what it takes. Let's look at the stats here real quick. We used 27.8 kilowatt hours, drove 89.8 miles, and we used 93% for driving, 7% for climate settings. We do have 133 miles left at this point, and we averaged 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour. So we're not doing too terrible here. We should easily make it to Kalispell. But if we actually could get some juice in this car here really quick on this 50 kilowatt charger, which is the max the Bolt can do anyway, then that will be much faster than waiting on a level 2 in Kalispell. So I'll try this one here and see if we can get some charge going. So this down here is blinking, which means I probably have to plug in first. So we got a Chademo and a CCS available. We need the CCS. Let's see if that, whoa, can't even reach. Need to get closer in, holy crap. Not too far away, but need to get closer. All right, so hopefully we're close enough now. Let's try that again. Wow, very tough. There we go. Something beeped. SMS app, credit card, what? All this stuff here. Okay. Nothing works. Not works like here. It's blinking here. Okay, no good. I gotta fix something up. So I scanned code right there, and this here came up, so I can continue without app, I hope. Maybe not. I tried everything I could that I knew of. I even downloaded a second app. I downloaded one app last night that didn't do anything. I downloaded another app. They got 3 apps from this company. The ratings are pretty low too, so well, this thing here doesn't want to give me any juice. There's no phone number on it to call. I found an email. I sent an email and maybe I get a response really quick, so I'm gonna go into the bathroom, and if I don't get a response, I'll just keep on going towards Kalispell and deal with a level 2 charger up there. So I'm about to get going here again in Polson. Couldn't charge, unfortunately. Couldn't get this thing going. Don't know what's going on. Can't get a hold of anybody. But anyway, shows we got 134 miles left. And we're doing an average of 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour. That's pretty good. So at this point, we definitely make it to Kalispell easy. Got 28.1 kilowatt hours used. Distance traveled 90.2 miles. Driving and accessories 93. Climate setting 7%. So let's look here. Battery temp 53.6. Ambient air 53.6. Battery coolant 53.6. What the heck? That is a little odd. But I mean, it's a possibility that they're all the same at this point. This up here shows outside temperature 49, while this here shows 53.6. that is possible since probably the display on the dash updates very slowly. State of charge 58.8, and so we got more than half in, so shouldn't be a problem to make it up there. Battery heater obviously didn't come on and will not come on for the rest of the drive. Cabin heat and cabin AC 0. It was going on the drive for a while, but then at some point I actually turned it off. That's why we're already down to 7%. And I don't think I need it for the rest of the drive. It currently is pretty comfortable in the car without this on at all. So, well, bathroom break's over, charger didn't work. We'll keep going up north towards Kalispell. am now here at a Chargepoint charger in Kalispell. I already picked up the rug at the auction place. That was the reason I came here. And so now I'm at this charger here, and I found it on PlugShare, and it is here. It looks like it is working, but so did the other one in Polson. Also, one of the last reviews said they could not activate this one. I was trying to look it up on Chargepoint's app, and it doesn't show there either. It is in the parking lot of a hotel, and so it may require something from the hotel, and that would require me to be a guest here probably. But I'll see if I can get this thing going somehow, either with the app or the RFID card or something, and we'll go from there. I used 42.4 kilowatt hours, traveled 147.9 miles. Quite a bit more than I thought it is. I thought about 130, so we're now almost 20 over that. I had a little tough time to find the auction place, so that was a little extra driving there for sure, but that's not too bad. Then up here we got 96% for driving and accessories, 4% for climate settings. Climate was off completely. Don't really need it. It's comfortable without it. And here it shows we got 92 miles average left at this point. And we've been cruising at a slow speed of only about 55 miles per hour. And so we got 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. That's pretty good. I've been cruising slow because I knew that I would have to charge here anyway. So if I use less energy, I spend less time at the charger. Battery temperature 57.2. Ambient air 62 here. Again, that's a few degrees higher than what it's showing here. Here we only show 55. Battery coolant is 60.8, so battery is warming up slowly but surely. Battery state of charge is 38%, which doesn't get us back. We need a bit more than that. And we didn't have any heat or AC going. Battery heater been inactive. So now let's see if I can get this charger going. Let's see. Tap your phone or Chargepoint card below. Let's see. It beeped. Authorizing. Plug in. Wow, that was too easy. Let's plug it. And it says $0 per kilowatt hour. Power 7.1 kilowatt hour. It's now it dropped 0.7. Now it ramps up here. 3.5 kilowatt hours. 3.5 kilowatts. Sorry. 6.3 kilowatts. 7.2. Cool. So it is going. So no problem. Price, let's press this here real quick. Free. I love it. So pretty cool. And the green light there is blinking. So we're doing good. Charger activated, no problem. I used the Chargepoint RFID card that I have. Usually you can activate them with any RFID. If they're free, you can use one of your credit cards that you have, or if you have like your phone, if you have Apple Pay or something on there, you can use any RFID usually to activate those free chargers. No problem at all. They just need to see something there. It's kind of funny, but it seems to work everywhere. So it is charging. I hope nobody at the hotel here is going to come over here and be mad at me. But it looks like a public charger to me in a way, and it's just in the back of the parking lot. So we'll see. I'm gonna go look around if there's anything around here, because it will take probably a couple hours to get enough charge into the car to make it back. So we can also look at the OBD real quick, and we can see charge level is 2. And then here volts 238. And we're running at 7161 watts right now. So that's pretty cool. And amps is 30. And amps requested is 30. So they're actually matching here. Interesting. Okay, because I thought the requested would be higher, as the Bolt can go a little bit higher than that. Proximity detection is 1.5 and the control pilot is 6.2. That is basically just telling us that the level 2 plug is plugged in properly, has a connection to the car, and the lock on it is engaged. That's what that is all about. But important is we get almost 7200 watts right here. So that's what we're looking for. And so it'll be a little bit, an hour or two probably, before we got enough to drive back home. I spent about 2 hours here at the charger now. Went for a little walk because it was kind of boring just sitting here. There's really not much around here. So it's showing 137 miles average, max 161, minimum 112. I think the map showed like 131 miles from here to home. So I'm right in that area as long as I don't go lower. So I think I'm just gonna get going and see if I can make this. So currently we have battery temp of 62.6, ambient air is 73.4. So I won't be needing the heat for sure. I don't think I need the AC once I get driving. Battery coolant is at 60.8. And battery state of charge shows 57.3. So we'll see if we can make it with that. I still have to unplug. I'm still plugged in right now. So I'll get her unplugged and I will get going. We put 14.799 kilowatts in at zero charge, well, money wise zero charge. So thank you Best Western in Kalispell for free juice. Better close the door and let's get going. down to 95 miles, but we're cruising at 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour. That's pretty darn good. Let's go to the energy screen here real quick. There we go. 97% for driving, and that leaves only 3% for climate settings, since again I had it turned off for most of the way. As I suspected, it was relatively decent. It's 62 degrees out right now, so it's not too hot or too cold to leave the air conditioning off and get some extra miles. Also, I came down on the east side of the lake, and that is the more scenic route, and their speed limits are lower. It's most of the way it's 50 miles per hour. So that obviously is where the Bolt performs the best. So we came down from what, about 130 miles to 95. That would be about 35 miles that we used up, but we drove about 60 miles. So it does real great. And now we go back on Highway 93, and the speed limit will be 70. On the way up, I didn't go as fast, but on the way back, I may try to go a little faster, just to get home a little faster and see. I mean, we got 95 miles left, but we only got probably 70 to go, maybe. So we'll see. We'll push it a little bit, and we'll see, yeah, how that goes. It would be really nice if we could charge here. We're actually back in Polson, where that 50 kilowatt DC fast charger is that does not work. I did get an email back from a person at the company, and he said as far as he can tell, this charger has not even been activated yet. So I know this charger is pretty new, but it's powered up and everything, and the app does recognize it. And when I plug it in, the app says that the charger is in use. So it must connect somehow, somewhere. But, well, I couldn't activate it. The person before me that left the one review and plug share about it said the same thing. They couldn't activate it. So, well, hopefully this charger starts working soon, because that would make it easily possible then for anybody with a Bolt or similar EV and with about 250 mile range to easily travel between Missoula and Kalispell for and back in one day. You know, a lot of people from like Missoula do make a little day trip and drive around the lake up here, just for fun on a Sunday, and maybe get some ice cream in Polson or visit Big Fork or sit at the lake for a couple hours. There's many things to do. It's really cool. So this charger here would be really helpful, because from Missoula one can drive up here, get some charge, go around the lake, get some more charge, and go back home, and can even go the speed limits, and that would be really nice. So hopefully they get that one going. But for us, it's just a bathroom break here, and then we'll keep going. Currently, we have used 55.8 kilowatts. We're at 200 miles. So we got about 70 to go. And, well, according to this here, our state of charge is about 45%, so we're anywhere between 40 and 45. As we know that this gasometer shows 45 if it's anywhere between 40 and 45. So we'll keep on trucking here in a few minutes, and then hopefully we'll make it home. At 15%, the gasometer turned amber, still showed mileage. At 10%, the mileage disappeared, and I think it was around 10 or 12 miles that it still showed, but that disappeared. And then at 5%, it started blinking like it does right now. We don't have very far to go, maybe a couple miles. Now this here just popped up, low power mode. The vehicle battery is low. Would you like to use low power mode to conserve energy? You can exit low power mode by pressing the radio power button. I believe low power mode just turns off the radio or something so that you can save a little bit of energy. But let's look here, we still got 3.5% left, so I think we're fine. Shouldn't be a problem. I got maybe a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles to go, so I think that is doable at 3.5%. Made it home. So we averaged 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour. That is pretty good. Drove 279.5 according to that, but that one is a little behind, just a little, because I was late resetting it as always. 280.4 is what we actually drove, so quite a bit. And we used 78.2 kilowatt hours out of the battery. We ended up using 98% of that for driving and only 2% for climate settings. So this is just a little slice up there for climate settings, because it was mostly in the low 60s for the entire drive. Battery temperature 75.2, ambient 59, 60 degrees, yep. Battery coolant 73.4, and battery state of charge 3.1%. Plenty to spare. So we made it. So no big deal. We made it again. Not much to spare this time. It doesn't even show any miles anymore. At 3%, that would be probably like 6-7 miles left, basically, based on the 259. Well, we made it. I pushed it a little more after Polson. I went a little higher speed so that we can get here a little faster and just use what we got in the battery. And the nice thing is I didn't have to stop anywhere and get gas. I could just come home, and now I can plug in and charge up again. So anyway, it was a nice trip. Nice weather today, good road conditions, and the Bolt has done really good again. And we confirmed again that the Bolt is very efficient, up to about 60, maybe 65 miles per hour. We can gain a lot of miles by going slower. And so yeah, it worked out pretty good. Again, what we found is that without DC fast chargers, it sucks to go on longer trips like that. If that DC fast charger in Polson would have worked, that would have been perfect. It's only a 50 kilowatt, but for the Bolt, that's fine. That's where the Bolt maxes out anyway. Could have charged there for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Drive up to Kalispell, drive back down to Polson, plug in for another maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Well, since it didn't work, I had to charge in Kalispell at a level 2, and I sat there for 2 hours just to get enough charge, barely enough charge, obviously, to make it back home. But we made it, so the Bolt did all right, but we definitely need more DC fast chargers here in this area, and I know there is plenty of other areas that need some too. So make suggestions to Electrify America or Electrify Canada. Go on their website and send them a message or something. Yeah, that may help, hopefully. Suggesting where we would like to have more chargers, and they hopefully put one there. I think currently there is a lot going on in regards to charging infrastructure, and hopefully by the end of the year or maybe a year from now, we will have lots and lots and lots of chargers everywhere, so that we really can drive our cars anywhere we want to. So I appreciate you watching this video. Thank you for joining me on this trip. Please give us a thumbs up, share this video with your family and friends, leave a comment down below. If you got any questions, put them down in the comments and I try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. And most importantly, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.